Nowadays, having your homes renovated surely costs a huge sum of dollars. And of course, we don't want that. Who wants to spend a huge amount of money when there are other ways to improve homes without spending so much, right? Luckily for you, Real Talker, today we prepared a list of 10 most profitable DIY or do-it-yourself renovations that you can actually do today. These renovations are designed to cost a small amount of money, yet can make a lot of home value. Let's get right into the top 10 list. Number 1. Paint kitchen cabinets rather than replace. Many homeowners look at the cabinet in the above picture and think, wow, awkward tile lines, cheap-looking cabinets. Rather than demoing the existing hardwood cabinets, they want to recreate them. And while this is really fun, the fun usually comes to a brief stop after you get an estimate to fix your kitchen that costs $80,000 to $100,000. And I'll tell you, those are money-losing projects. Here, we detail how cabinet painting can be a lucrative project. Cabinet painting basically takes old and busted cabinets and transforms them into something new and beautiful. Now, if you are considering cabinet painting, it is super important that you follow our 2 rules for this. Rule number 1. Use good quality primer and paint. So, stick with the high quality materials. We like to use Zinsser cover stains, which can also make sanding cabinets unnecessary. And of course, being a good quality top coat also makes your cabinets last longer and look beautiful. The second rule strategy is always make sure you choose a paint that has a spray finish. You'll get the mirror-like finish without buying new cabinetry. Now look, wiping on stains and brushing your cabinets or rolling on paint might seem like a fun project because you can go to the store and pick up the paint and the brush without having to do a lot of preparation. More preparation makes for more profits. You should always be looking at the PPP factor when it comes to painting. That is, whether the product being created is a beautiful pearl that would make others jealous, or one of those icky pieces in the back of your garage that you need to take down. Prep equals profit. PPP. For example, if you were planning on renovating your kitchen, you might invest about $100 to join a renovation project such as PPP. This would be similar to joining a home improvement program that has the potential of generating a profit somewhere between $5,000 to $15,000. With this strategy, this kitchen renovation tops the list of others that are currently most profitable do-it-yourself renovations for your home. Number 2. Place film on old butcher block kitchen tops. Maybe you have an older countertop that was previously Formica or a faux stone countertop. It has some old stains on it because your mother-in-law accidentally left a hot pot on the counter one night and burned some of the edges. No need to replace that old, expensive stone sink with a new one. You can put up with the water stains and crack in your countertops. You can now use a cost-effective DIY solution to wrap around your sink with an adhesive film, which you can purchase easily on Amazon. One thing to be careful with is making sure there are no air bubbles trapped inside your hot foil. When trimming off the extra roll of foil, you make sure that you don't cut it too short and leave a wavy line. We highly recommend having a few extra rolls, just in case one has a little imperfection. Also, the foils are very inexpensive, so it's not worth to keep going over and over just to get one right. So get yourself a little bit of extra material. Once you get the hang of it, your learning curve shouldn't be too bad and you should be able to create content like this within the first month with a profit of somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000. With some quick work, you can even make a profit in just the first few weeks. Whether you've hacked off to the idea of bringing your shopping list to bathrooms and reviewing the countertop styles or not, you should be aware that this won't be a good idea with tile countertops. Formica is commonly used, so you should make sure that's an option for your counter. Now speaking of tile, number 3, refurnish bathroom tile and tub rather than replace. Have you ever been frustrated by that blue or pink tile? Sometimes that white tile that looks like an old 1980s or 1990s beige speckled white crappy tile? A quick and easy way to paint tiling is a DIY project. This solution saves you loads of time and gives your tiling tiles a brand new look. Refinishing your bathroom tiles is an affordable way to make a quick bathtub update. While it's not technically called painting your tiles, it is considered repainting them. You can turn a pink or blue colored tile bathtub into a beautiful, polished-looking tub in only one weekend without the need for professionals. Now, you can pick up packages of this from Amazon or Home Depot. However, we recommend that if you're going to spray the foam polyurethane on the walls like a professional, don't use the little foam roller included in a kit because it will probably not provide adequate coverage. We recommend either buying an airless sprayer or renting one instead. Be careful when buying the airless sprayer because you may end up like those who will do a DIY project and buy a new tool for every job they do, which leads to an entire storage unit full of tools that are only used once to produce one project. Now, another important tip. Make sure you get rid of all the old, nasty caulking that has mildew and grease on it. You want to remove any old materials before applying a coat of this product though. Don't waste your time by placing into the wrong spots. For example, 3 P's in painting. Prep, prime, and paint is important here too. You might be out of your $250 or less for this project. On the other hand, you could transform a bathroom and make it modernized by removing all those older tile colors quickly. The cost can depend on how long and to what extent you need to do it. But overall, you should expect to get a valuation between $3,000 and $5,000. Some people argue that this type of content will quickly get stale and die, but our data indicates the longevity lasts longer than 6 years. Our experience is in line with these types of findings. Additionally, we've heard that it lasts longer too. Even properties that have lasted 6 years have been done well, due to the quality of work and ability to redo. Building a rental property can be a long-term play, but it's not too difficult to rework or renovate if needed. It's way less expensive to tile the floor with different materials rather than replacing them all. In real estate, you should analyze where you can spend the least amount of money to make the most amount of money. Usually, we go into a home improvement thinking of the process as a big burden and need, which would be expensive. We might plan to spend $50,000 on one high-quality master bathroom in the hall with 3 other bathrooms. You see, we are usually faced with the assumption that it will take a lot of time and money to complete home improvement projects. It's not just about the initial investment, but how much time and effort you have to put in as well. Think about the time you can save when it comes to real estate. The less you spend, the more you make. Number 4. Scrape off popcorn ceilings. In some cases, a popcorn ceiling is also referred to as an acoustic ceiling. Back in the day, foam was used to soundproof a room. The premise behind this is that the foam absorbs sound from outside the room and eliminates reflections in its surface. See, it has more texture, but in reality, it was just a cheap way to finish drywall ceilings. Building contractors could use this as an easy and cheap way to cover up their mistakes quickly, because the drywall can hide a world of sin. Removing this tile is an extremely profitable investment. In some cases, even though you may not have had to do it yourself, your property was built before the 1978 or a bit before. For example, say it was built between 1980 and 1981, somewhere within those dates. You still might see it on the property. It still might be hard to breathe in your house if you have an asbestos ceiling. Now, you can take a simple chemical test to find out whether the ceiling has asbestos. I recommend buying yourself a P100 respirator before doing any of that. Make sure you are using the toxic dust filter you loaded. You want to use a vapor filter or filter like a generic filter, not an acoustic sealant. Put on gloves, stick a Ziploc bag together, and scrape with your hands to isolate a small sample of the acoustic sealing before loading it into the droid. You can wrap these fibers up, send them to a company like Western Analytical Laboratory in Los Angeles for about $50. And then, they'll email you back whether or not there is asbestos in your product. Otherwise, the best option is usually to hire a professional. However, if you want to scrape these ceilings off yourself, you can. Just make sure that you do the proper research so that you're not just wearing the proper P100 filters, but testing their fit appropriately. And renting and operating some good triple filters electronic air purifiers for clean breathing air. It's very easy in this case. Essentially, you are using a system to isolate a room and control the conditions inside. By controlling the entry and exit of air from that room, only clean air can enter the room. This system is used to reduce or eliminate outside contaminants in the air. When thinking about scraping ceilings, remember that you'll be working overhead. Therefore, we recommend starting with a small space, like one bedroom at a time. We know scaling this project up to the entire house is ideal, but it might seem too ambitious in the beginning. That way, you can start to do your house one room each weekend. The cool thing about this project is that it's relatively low cost. You are mostly using drywall materials, so skim painting the ceiling afterwards will go well. And with a really good drywall primer, you won't even get that orange or yellow staining that sometimes comes through from older drywall or even older cigarette stains. Because a lot of this work is labor intensive, expect to spend somewhere between $200 to $300 on drywall primer in addition to the rest of your materials. You'll build your equity by having nice ceilings throughout your property or even with a light texture. There are new modernizing improvements of acoustics that can increase the value of your property by up to $8,000. Number 5. Replace old baseboards and trim. One of our favorite things to do in a house is remove old 1.5 to 2.5 inch baseboards and replace them with nice 4 to 5 inch Craftsman style baseboards. These types of baseboards are all the rage in property management class. Here's a great way to save on the cost of these materials and make your home look better by adding simple molding. These boards not only add value, but they can be installed around window frames, doors, and more in a couple of hours or less on any old wood flooring. For the project mentioned, baseboards and paint for approximately $400 and a nail gun rental for about $30 a day, plus an air compressor rental for about $50. Beyond that, these materials should give your property an additional $3,500 to $4,500 in market value. Number 6. Replace door and cabinet handles or knobs with expensive feeling ones. Now, this one is pretty simple, but only a few people do it. You can make an immediate change to a home's value simply by removing outdated hardware, such as door and closet knobs, as they are often not in good condition and need replacing anyway. Now, these things are relatively inexpensive on their own, and you can start with a few basic things like quick set lock sets, some bronze hinges, or brushed nickel hinges and closet door inserts. Even though it seems as though you're replacing doors, the exposed core of the door builds a sense of value that people can feel. Not so much because of its structural differences, but because it is in your face. You want to focus on what people are touching and feeling rather than spending your money on the structural insulation. And if you're able to upgrade cheaply, you can make your home worth more than $4,000. Projects that cost around $500 typically don't include many materials. However, for a project that will result in a value of over $4,000, the price tag is typically close to $7,000. And we know that sounds excessive, like seriously, door handles are going to do that. But the feeling is what's important in a real estate deal, and you'd be surprised how many people sell houses without updating their landscaping. This makes everything new and every house feels valuable. Number 7. Add mulch to your yard to make it look nice. You could usually pick up 10 bags of mulch for $30 on sale on Home Depot or Lowe's. Potentially, this is the easiest way to do the job. If you're worried about staining your hands red, we recommend wearing gardening gloves. 100% high quality and disposable plastic gloves to avoid potential peeling. If you've got some time and money to improve your property, a fresh look can generate more value for you. For example, if you spend $40 on mulch and gardening gloves, the market value of your property increases by around $1,000 to $1,500. Number 8. Replace electrical outlets or switches and light fixtures with modern-looking ones. So, where are you going to make your money in electrical? Well, you'll have to switch out those yellow bulbs and outlets for some nice decorative ones. Maybe consider getting screws for your outlets, switches, and basic lights. You can find outlet splices, which are cheaper and look nicer than others on the market, on Amazon, or in home improvement stores. Buying some basic lights fixtures is a less expensive way to spruce up the aesthetics of your property. Spending $1,000 is not going to be worth it. However, switching out the lights and outlets around your home can help increase its value by $4,000 to $5,000. Number 9. Add recessed lighting. Making general assumptions based on the impressions you give off is dangerous. When considering this yourself, remember to always be mindful of safety and electricity. Always wear rubber-soled shoes, good hand tools, and long-sleeve shirts. Don't sue us if you electrocute yourself. You can also now consider installing light sockets that can switch on and off at will, or light fixtures called outlets in some parts of the world. The new model of can lights, which come to a big gray actual can, are difficult to install and require more drywall damage. So, our top go-to is installing 4 to 6 high-intensity LED can lights for living rooms or hallways. There is no actual can anymore. The best LED spotlights are easy to install and usually don't require as much of a mess to clean up. However, risks exist in purchasing cheap LED spotlights that might actually end up needing replacement after 2 to 3 years, given the poor material quality. Many LEDs are rated for 20 to 25 years, but it's best to try and buy a reputable brand, so you're covered if your LEDs stop working. You may be charged around $300 when seeking warranty claims. You can get between $2,000 and $4,000 worth of value by transforming the look of your property. You might also want to install these lights on a dimmer switch. This way, you have greater flexibility and there is more range in the light's brightness. And lastly, number 10. Pressure wash your home to make it clean. In order to renew the look of your property, consider all the costs associated with a pressure washing job, which would include materials and gas. An average pressure washer may cost around $100 per day, but it could get more expensive from there, and investing just $130 in chemicals could give you a refreshed look and save you money too. Some people like to keep their windows clean by doing casual spring cleaning tasks, including pressure washing or wiping down windows. So, be careful not to pressure wash too often around the windows, but a good pressure wash can make a world of a difference for brick stucco or siding-built houses with many years of buildup. That's it for this video, Real Talker. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we've delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person, as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your own fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you actually take action that you'll start to see results. See you soon!